Hello everyone. Today's video is about the second unit, which is cell biology. So let's get into it. Introduction. So in the last unit or the last video, we've seen about the contribution of biology to development by its role in community health, agriculture, food production, and use and conservation of the environment. So we've seen about the many uses of biology and its role in these areas. And now in this unit, to see about cell biology. And every living thing from the tiniest bacterium to the largest well is made up of one or more cells. So every living thing is made up of cell, whether it's one or many. Many of the chemical reactions that keep organisms alive or the metabolic functions take place in the cells. So this is what we are going to see about the cells. All organisms are made up of cells. As a cell is the basic unit of structure and function of living things. So what is a cell? It's the basic structure of it is the basic unit of structure and function of living things. The cell is the smallest unit that carries out all life processes. So the cell is what? The smallest unit that carries out all life processes. Unicellular organisms like bacteria, protozoa, algae, and yeast are organisms that are made up of one cell. So these organisms are unicellular, meaning they're made up of just one cell, and living organisms such as some algae, most fungi, plants, and animals are made up of many cells or multicellular. And multicellular organisms, all cells work together and make an organism live. And some of these cells are the same type and collectively called a tissue. So the collection of cells is called a tissue. And these cells of a tissue do the same job. For example, muscle tissues in animals affect movement, and in plants, it affects the vascular tissues in the plants transport materials. So in this unit, we're going to see about different unicellular organisms, and they are very small to see with our naked human eye. So they need the use of hand lens or a microscope to be able to identify them. So now we're going to be looking at unicellular organisms. The term unicellular organism indicates that the organism is made up of a single cell, and these single-celled organisms carry out the functions like feeding, locomotion, which is movement, expelling waste, and reproduction, and so on by the single cell. Even though it's just a single cell, they carry out all these functions. These unicellular organisms include amoeba, Igulina, paramecium, bacteria, and yeasts. These are unicellular organisms which carry out the following these functions. And many of these organisms are commonly found in water bodies like lakes, ponds, and river water. In most cases, they are minute-sized or microscopic, which means they need microscope to be able to observe them. Because of their movement or locomotion, unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium are generally known as animal-like single-celled organisms. So the unicellular organism, paramecium and amoeba, due to their locomotion or movement, we term them as animal-like single-celled organisms. Even though they are not animals, we term them as animal-like single-celled organisms due to their locomotion. And because demo, and the other one is due to their photosynthetic behavior, which is found in chlorella, we term this as plants like single-celled or single-celled plants. We call chlorella single-celled plants. whereas unicellular organisms like Igulina, which moves and feeds like animals, also prepares its own food like plants, can either be a plant nor an animal. So, Zika, Amoeba, and Paramecium, due to their locomotion, animal-like nature. Animal-like single-celled organisms. Zika demo, Chlorella demo, photosynthetic slone, it's single-celled plants. And Zika demo, unicellular organism Igulina demo. And the animal ሙቭና ፊድ ያደርጋል እንደ ፕላንት ደግሞ የራሱን ፉድ ፕሪፔር ያደርጋል or photosynthetic ነው እና ስለዚህ ግን although you might think it's plant or animal የሁለቱም ሊይዝ ይችላል ግን it's neither ሁለቱም ሊሆን አይደለም it's not labeled as plant or animal and now all these microorganisms are known as protists so እነዚህ Paramecium, Amoeba, Chlorella, Igulina these are known as Protists. The diversity of single-celled organisms is surprising. These differences are apparent for both the structure and function of organisms. And single-celled organisms range greatly in size, which can range from 1 micron to 100 microns. 1 micron is bacteria, and 100 microns is a protozoan, and 1 micron is a millionth of a meter. And the terms unicellular organism is an organism which is made up of only one cell, and multicellular is an organism made up of many cells working together, and a tissue is a group of similar and different cells that perform the same function. So they perform the same function even though the cells are similar or different. So examples of tissue may be the blood tissue consists of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. These are different cells which perform the same function. So do this activity and we'll come back to the key terms after the lesson. Okay, so in the previous section, we've seen about the different types of organisms which are made up of only one cell, which we term as single-celled organisms or unicellular organisms, and some microscopic organisms such as bacteria, amoeba, Igulina, Paramecium, yeast, or unicellular these are unicellular, and some algae are unicellular. Not all of them, but some of them are unicellular. Plants, animals, and most fungi are unicellular. That is, they are composed of many cells working together. But whether it makes up an entire bacterium or just trillions in a human being, the cell is an amazing thing of plan and efficiency. A closer study of single-celled organisms shows how they are organized to perform the various life activities, and we are going to see the different parts which are commonly known as subcellular structures. Amoeba. And here we have word roots, protozoa. It's made up of two Greek words, proto, which means first, and zoa, which means animals. So it means first animals, protozoa or protozoan for singular. Protozoan is for singular. And so it means the first animals. Amoeba. What does a cell of amoeba look like? We're going to see that now. Amoeba is a unicellular organism which is found in nearly all freshwater habitats. So freshwater habitats is where they're found, and it does not have a definite shape, and its shape depends on the condition. So it doesn't have a definite shape. Its shape depends on the condition. And we saw that it is called animal-like unicellular organism, due to its locomotion, and it is commonly known as a protozoan. And amoeba can be identified with its unique mode of locomotion, like I've said, and it moves by means of extension of the plasma membrane known as phaeropoda. I don't know how to pronounce that. The amoeba consists of cellular parts like cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, food vacuole, contractile vacuole. So these are the subcellular parts, the following. And now we've seen about the and locomotion ayano, the locomotion ምክንያት animal like ነው, protozoan ነው, protozoan ደግሞ roots ayano. Now these are parቶቹ or subcellular parቶቹ እና በምንድን ነው locomotion or እንዴት ነው move የሚያደርገው? By the extension of plasma membrane, or በምንድን ነው move የሚያደርገው? Phaeropoda. Sorry. Eshi. Now, where do they live? A habitat is a place where an organism lives. And now, amoebas, sometimes spelled as amoebas or amoeba, are either free living or parasitic organisms. So, min ማለት ነው free living, like in the freshwater way, እነዚህ ፖንዶች like ምናምን ቅድም እንዳለው ማለት mud, ditches, salty water and soil እነዛ ውስጥ ሲኖር we call it free living amoeba. እና ግን ሌላ ኦርጋኒዝም ላይ live አድርጎ ላይ feed ካረገ we call that a parasite. እና አሜባ ደግሞ እንዴት ነው move የሚያደርገው? አሜባ ደግሞ it moves by pushing its cytoplasm out to the direction of movement by extending the cell membrane outwards. So cytoplasm, this cytoplasm, we're going to see about the cellular structures, but for now we're going to see about its movement. The cytoplasm push ይደረጋል in the direction of movement. And now how we do this is by extending the cell membrane outward. So cytoplasm push አድርገን cell membrane outwards በማድረግ ነው። እና a outward projection ደግሞ finger-like projection of cytoplasm is called phaeropoda, meaning false feet. So the finger-like projection phaeropoda ይባላል, or false feet. And by a flowing motion of the cytoplasm within the cell and the phaeropoda, the whole cell moves forward to the surface. አሁን ደግሞ what do amoeba feed? Amoeba ደግሞ they commonly feed on bacteria, microscopic algae, and other protozoa. So yeah, ሌላ unicellular organism or bacteria, microscopic algae እነዚህ ላይ feed on ያደርጋል። እና ይሄ ደግሞ እንዴት ነው engulf or ወደ ውስጥ እንዴት ነው የሚያስገባው is by the phaeropoda, this site of locomotion ማለት ነው። እና phaeropoda, sorry for the pronunciation ብቻ phaeso means false and podia means feet, so false feet like we've said over around here. Yeah. And now, so that's it for today's video, and make sure to check out the next video. We're going to continue about how the amoeba feed, and we're going to be looking at the key terms and subcellular structures. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Turn on notifications, and thank you for watching. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Bye.